Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, July 30th. I'm Stephanie Haney. Welcome back to 3 News Now. Thank you for joining me for your top headlines from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. I'm so glad that you're with me now so that you're getting caught up on everything that you need to know here in Northeast Ohio and what's impacting you. The things we're going to cover for you today include Representative John Lewis being laid to rest today in Atlanta. We do have that streaming live right now on all of our social platforms. Also, we will talk about Larry Householder being voted out as Speaker of the House related to the bribery scandal, which he was indicted on federal charges today, along with 4 others related to a racketeering conspiracy. We'll tell you all about what's going on with that. And also what the Ohio Education Association is saying about Ohio schools and in-person learning for the fall based on Governor Mike DeWine's alert system here in the state of Ohio. We're also going to take a look at some things President Donald Trump is tweeting about possibly delaying the election, what he can and cannot do. Spoiler alert, he cannot do that. Also, we will talk about how you can show us something good and be a part of our 5 p.m. TV show, What's New, and also share your videos and photos on our WKYC.com, on our app, and all of our other platforms. First up, let's start by celebrating the life of Representative John Lewis, who is being laid to rest today in Atlanta. This is a man who has been known as the conscience of Congress. He is a prominent civil rights leader. He was a staple at the sit-ins and the freedom rides of the 1960s, a tireless advocate for what is right over what was actually legal at that time in our history. Not that long ago, just 70 years ago, the things that he was fighting for, the equality and the justice that he was fighting for, were things that people could do legally in the U.S. His famous quote is, "Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble." His final services began today at 11 a.m. at the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, and his interment will take place at 2:30 p.m. That will be at the Southview Cemetery with Reverend Dr. Raphael Warnock officiating. And he will be laid to rest with military honors, including a 3-volley salute and the playing of taps. So today we honor the life of Representative John Lewis. And again, you can see those services on our Facebook page as well as on WKYC.com and on our WKYC app. Here in Ohio, Larry Householder has been voted out as the Speaker of the House. He became Speaker of the House in 2019. He was voted today unanimously to be removed as Speaker of the House by a vote of 90-0. Now, this was after he was indicted in a federal bribery investigation. He was indicted by a grand jury this morning. Previously, he was just charged by a criminal complaint, but a grand jury has actually officially returned an indictment against Householder today. So, effective immediately, he is no longer Speaker of the House, but he is still a representative in the Ohio House of Representatives. Now, do keep in mind here in the legal system, people are innocent until they are found to be guilty. So presumed to be innocent until found guilty. These are allegations at this point, but the things that he is being accused of doing are pretty bad for people here in the state of Ohio. This is all tied to House Bill 6, which was the billion-dollar bailout of 2 nuclear power plants, which at the time were owned by First Energy. And what Householder is accused of doing, along with 4 others who has been named, has been using a 501c4 organization, a nonprofit organization, in order to funnel money allegedly from First Energy. Now, First Energy is not named in any of the documents by the Department of Justice, but it is widely understood that First Energy is the company that they do believe funneled more than $60 million into this nonprofit organization that Householder just used allegedly as his personal piggy bank. Dave DeVillers, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District, said dark money is a breeding ground for corruption as the investigation continues. Now, we'll talk a little bit more this afternoon about what dark money is and the role that had to play in this entire scandal that now Householder has been indicted in. A conviction on the conspiracy to commit racketeering charge, one of the charges on which he has been indicted, carries up to 20 years in prison. Also here in Ohio, the Ohio Education Association is advising that schools that are in counties that have a COVID-19 either level 3 or level 4 alert should be remote only starting in the fall. Now, this is an interesting conversation. Lots of districts are trying to figure out how to handle going back to school in the fall. Some of them are coming up with hybrid models. Some of them are doing online only. CMSD here in Cleveland is doing online only for at least the first 9 weeks. We do know some places are having people opt either exclusively online only or exclusively in-person only, giving students the option. But OEA, which is the labor union that represents more than 120,000 teachers and staff in the state of Ohio, says that if a county is at a level 3 or a level 4 alert, it needs to provide only online learning. Now, based on a poll that OEA did in the middle of July, 69% of the educational professionals who responded don't believe that schools and campuses will be able to safely reopen in the fall related to COVID-19. Here's what the OEA Board of Directors said. No education employee in any setting should be forced to choose between their livelihood and their health or safety. OEA will continue to organize and engage members to effectively advocate for healthy and safe learning and working conditions, essential legal protections for members, and equitable learning opportunities for all students. So OEA says in their view that any school or campus building that's located in a level 3 or a level 4, so that's the red or the purple alert, must remain closed to in-person instruction. They also say until there is a vaccine for COVID-19, until that's widely available as well, because let's also remember that once a vaccine does become available, we don't know what kind of capacity the U.S. will have in order for getting that vaccine out to people. So OEA says until there's a vaccine and until that vaccine is widely available, schools in all counties, that's including level 2 orange and level 1 yellow level, should be permitted to open for in-person instruction only if all CDC requirements can be fully met. And those CDC requirements include that physical distancing of 6 feet, masks, varying ages depending on who you talk to for when a mask should be required, and those kinds of things. So here in Northeast Ohio, Cuyahoga, Medina, and Erie counties are currently at that level 3 alert. That was as of yesterday. So we previously also had Summit, Lorain, and Trumbull counties at level 3, but they were downgraded as the COVID-19 numbers do continue to move around. So that's what OEA is saying. They're saying if we're at a level 3 or a level 4 alert, you should not be having in-person education at schools this fall. Obviously, this is a developing situation, so we'll continue to bring you more information about what schools are doing as we have it. On the national sphere, President Donald Trump today tweeted about the possibility of delaying the November presidential election. So he posed it as a question in his tweet. He wrote, "Delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote?" But he can't do that. Changing the date of a federal election would require an act of Congress. That's because the dates of federal elections, which is the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, that is set by a federal law. So in order to change that would take an act of Congress. And by the way, there's nothing in the Constitution that allows for delaying the presidential inauguration, which is when the office changes hands to the new president-elect. And that will take place on January 20th, 2021. In that tweet today, President Donald Trump also tweeted claims about inaccuracy and fraud with mail-in voting, and these claims are unsupported. He also continues to draw a distinction between absentee ballots and mail-in voting. These are false distinctions that he continues to draw, as he posted in his tweet today. Across the country, the verification process is the same for absentee ballots as it is for mail-in voting, and many states draw no distinction at all between the two, consider them to be exactly the same. So keep that in mind when you're looking at what President Donald Trump is tweeting today. He's saying some things that are false, and his claims about mail-in voting have gotten him in trouble on Twitter before. They've had his tweets flagged with fact-check notifications, which are now at the center of his issues with social media and how he is trying to get the FCC to look into further regulating social media, which is another story for another day. But for those people who are interested in mail-in voting and for people who are interested in the election in general, here's your reminder that we are 96 days out from the presidential election. That's happening on November 3rd. Here in Ohio, you may be interested to know if you do opt to do a mail-in ballot, you can track that ballot the whole way. So you can track it from the application process to get that ballot to sending your ballot back, and you'll know when your county board of elections has received your ballot. So keep that in mind. In Ohio, the deadline to register to vote is October 5th. So you need to register to vote. And if you want to vote by mail, you also have to file an application to get a mail-in ballot. It's a two-step process. You can't just request the mail-in ballot. They don't just send it to you. You have to send in a mail-in ballot application. Then you get your mail-in ballot. Then you have to send your mail-in ballot back. So I have links to how to do that. I tweeted them out today, _Stephanie Haney. So you can find that there if you're interested in making sure you get registered to vote and also getting a mail-in ballot. One more reminder for you, we want you guys to show us something good, and you can do that using the Near Me feature on our WKYC app. It's very easy. Just open up the app and you'll see Near Me in the bottom right corner. Tap on that and the directions are super easy, super user-friendly. Up in the left corner, you'll see where you can submit your photos and videos to us, and you can tell us what is making you feel good today, because we want to know, and we just might share it on our 5 p.m. show on What's New, or online, on our Instagram, on our Twitter, on our Facebook, on our website, in our app. So tell us what is making you feel good today so we can share your story with the rest of Northeast Ohio, spread a little positivity and light and joy today and as many days as possible. That's it for your 3 News Now early update for Thursday, July 30th. I'll be back here right after 3 p.m. as soon as we get those updated numbers in from the Ohio Department of Health. Also with the updates from Governor Mike DeWine's press conference today. We do expect to get some announcements that I think that you will all be very interested in. So make sure you join us back here for that. I will see you shortly. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I'm Stephanie Haney.